We were terrible sick with COVID. There was only one thing to do. We had to steel our bodies and strengthen the immune system. And we wanted to get a break from political, global, human destruction. There followed a period of relaxation, but it wasn't meant to last long. Approaching foreign shores, our board slave has to climb the crow's nest. Sometimes he doesn't want to follow, then we have to give him a leg up. Ow! Ow, 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 ow. This hurts me the same way as it does him, but somehow I have to convince him not to refuse Captain's order. The closer we came to our desired destination, the more the atmosphere shifted into a gloomy, fear-loaded foreshadowing. Finally, we reached the remote island. We dropped anchor. The outlines of the shore were somber and forbidding. When we went ashore, we couldn't get rid of a weird feeling that somebody was watching us. The island radiated an aura of rejection. Wrecks of miserable, unlucky souls were fringing the coast. The water was infested with box jellyfish, which we had to put out of the way before daring to step into the shallow water. We hid between the palm trees. From there we observed if anything out of the ordinary might happen. We found leftovers of a bonfire littered with charred bones. The usually very familiar murmuring of the waves, which do not cease to break at the beach, had suddenly turned into a threatening pandemonium. When we finally left our hiding, we were immediately approached by wild people who spoke an ancient language. These natives were happy to meet other Homo sapiens and decided to join us on our boat. They tried to look friendly, but their smile appeared like the onset of a terrible crime. In the beginning they had no clue how to handle things, which were absolutely alien to them. We had the impression their frustration was somehow dangerous. Again and again Louis had to interact to explain the most basic things to them. With very simple folding techniques, Louis could guide the self-appointed guests closer to modern life. He was very tense and afraid of their aggressive fits. When finally he gave it a chance to introduce them to up-to-date art of engineers, it almost led to mutiny. They rushed to the mast and attempted to set sail. Louis interfered and tried to stop them, but they didn't have a concept anyways. Without our help, their simple way of thinking could not handle this task. The merest way of Western politeness was unknown to them. Constantly, they were on the lookout for exploitable things. The spirit on board was somber and tense. They gave us fetishes, which they probably connected to our religion. Conversely, we tried to win their trust with archaic wall paintings. With our ancient philosophy of life, our guests were attracted to hideaways in caves and subterranean tunnels. Bats were guarding the entrance. We didn't have a choice than to grin and bear it. Wistfully we looked back to our boat, which once had been our sweet home, and now represented our only means of escape. But the Aborigines enjoyed these dark caverns. Finally, the clan leader could be convinced to lead her pack into open air again. With the discovery of the caves, they felt encouraged to bring even more members of the clan. They had a terrible way of tearing their children's arms. We tried to calm these wild people down with soothing massage techniques and get them accustomed to our culture. Slowly, these archaic pre-humans seemed to turn into proper human beings. We ran out of rice, live vein of the Philippines. Corn as substitute drug almost led to a mutiny again, but this time by the furious Philippine crew. Telephone top-up cards expired, which in return led to an uprising of the newly civilized Aboriginal guests. Well, there were enough fish. Fresh coconuts too. We even found a jackfruit. We ate everything we could get a hold of, and which came our way. but the underwater world was full of monsters and dangerous animals. Also on land there was danger everywhere. Beetles with horn extensions were oozing poisonous scale fluid. Gigantic cicadas. If we wanted to survive, we had to run away. When we rushed to set sail, a few of the natives tried desperately to hold on to our boat. Louis panicked and jumped into the water. Immediately he was attacked by one of the archaic earth dwellers. With last power, Louis could pull himself back on board. Other natives jumped into their boats and thrashed the water in blind fury. 2 floating devices were approaching us from astern and had to be kicked away by Marites. Another one could be calmed down only by donation of modern money fetishes. On the foreship, one was climbing on board. Luckily, when we saw him, he escaped back into the water again. On land, they had erected altars, which were waving at us like messengers of death. Only when we reached the open ocean, we could feel the last hour's tension and fear of death subsiding. Like a reward, dolphins showed up and gave us company, gliding into a well-deserved, peaceful night.